politicians.
Yeah, we put them in office over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, we only have to look at what's in office now. But
Right.
so again, it goes all back to that mindset of, you were brought here to remain in a place of submission. Period. And you should be glad we gave you a little bit what we did. White folk would say, even though we didn't give you nothing, you fought death to get every little freedom.
Hand and tooth.
And even when we say you can vote, we know what that's like.
Yeah.
But
even Trump said you should be happy that you're here. I mean, it's clear that he made but
right,
and
because and see, Christianity backs that up.
Mm-hmm.
Christianity then says, see, that's why you shouldn't be mad at slavery, because at least through slavery we gave you the gospel of Jesus Christ. See, that's the other part of this supreme identity that white evangelicals have.
Right.
We've been entrusted with the gospel of Jesus Christ to spread across the world, not knowing that what they're spreading is white supremacy, Babylon the Great.
Did you say not knowing?
So
Well,
You don't mean not knowing.
So if you don't mind, with two things I want to ask and lay on you. In Malachi, turn the hearts of the children back to the fathers, and the Nicene Council, because those are two histories that, if understood, then we get a broader picture of part of the condition today. So if you don't want, you can elaborate on those two.
Woo! All right. I think that might be a place where I haven't ventured.
See, that's why we call him the minister.
Yeah, because I'm here, to listen to you, brother. So.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm really doing my research, and it's like you're flipping off everything Christianity taught you. Not that everything was completely wrong. Okay. But now, if they're going to lie about the color of Christ's skin, and they're going to lie about how he was born in a manger, and they're going to lie about Christmas, and they're going to lie about Easter, which are things that you have no purpose or reason to have to lie about.
Yeah.
Right.
What else are you lying about?
Right.
Or when you go to churches and you say, well, Jesus really didn't look this way. Well, yeah, but he didn't look that black. He was more a little light-skinned. Oh, so now you're going to judge the tone of the color, but right now you're like black and white difference, So I have to relearn everything. And, what you mentioned is probably something that I haven't ventured into. So when you do your show, you're going to have to let me know.
Okay.
Well, brother, you spoke of God bless what I stole. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
A lot of my people will always say, I never owned a slave. I never killed a Native American Indian, so I'm not accountable for their sin, which makes me laugh. Because first of all, you say America's going to be judged because of abortion and homosexuality. Well, what if you're not gay and you've never had an abortion?
Yeah.
You're going to suffer? Or the pro-life people complain about welfare because the parents are having more kids in their mind, getting more money, and they want to cut the money off so the kids don't have food. But I thought you said you were pro-life. So anyway, I brought this up. Will God will God bless what you stole? So I did some research, just a little bit about, maybe 15 of the different states on different scenarios if you were caught driving a car or in possession of something that did not belong to you, and you did not know that it was stolen. Even in that, there are laws based on what you stole that would give you some type of yes, you would be in trouble. So then I looked up what happens if you're driving that car or in possession of something that you knew was stolen, but you had nothing to do with it. Every state I looked at said you committed a crime. You knew it was stolen. So then in that video I asked, so you're telling me that when you white evangelical Gentiles created this law in your own land, that you're going to stand before God and say, yeah, God, I know this land was stolen. It wasn't ours, but you bless us with keeping it. I said, if that's the case, I'm going to go knock somebody over the head, take their house, and then go and demand the judge to give me the title. Or ask somebody else to knock them over the head and then take their... It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Right.
So why do you think God is going to allow you? And that goes back to, is God blessing the USA because of great white evangelicals? Or is God using great white evangelicals to fulfill what he said he would do in Romans when he says, I'll pour out, kind of my love. But see, Christians teach that it's only salvation. That when God poured out his spirit or the time of the Gentiles was only about basically salvation. And that the white Jews right now are not coming to Jesus very quickly because his salvation is on us white Gentiles, which then is to make them jealous. Mm-hmm. Well, with this revelation, I'm sorry, but it's also a physical, spiritual, and that time is up because he said, if I judged my own branch, don't you think, or don't you get haughty, or don't you think you don't need the natural branch, you wild branch.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's, again, why I need to cleave to you.
Exactly. So, what are there's a lot of misconceptions in the depiction of God's image that have been passed down through generations. Although, there have been like manipulation of God's word in regards to that. And no matter how things were revised, whether it's NIV, all these versions,
Right.
It was one side that they could never manipulate. And that's in Revelations, talking about his hair is, white as snow, and that of wool.
Yep.
And his feet is of bronze. So these were things that, and I've always thought about it as to say, now, wait a minute now. Jesus was in Jerusalem, in the Far East. It's hot over there.
It's very hot.
It's hot.
It's hot.
Where do you find that fair skin over there? That's what I always had what, where did that come from? And then, you look at the artist, Michelangelo, and then it's a form of, manipulation, again, through slavery. But, why is it, why is it so hard just to admit who Yah is in his image?
Because if you acknowledge that the Son of God is a black man.
Come on, somebody.
You have to admit that your white supremacy or your white privilege or you're the chosen race is false.
Come on, somebody.
And as I say that, I have to hold back almost the tears because I know almost how impossible it will be for the majority of my people. Because when I talk to them about the image, the first thing is, well, he wasn't really black. He would be more like, I would say Jesus was like a Iranian or somebody like that. I said, well, then show me one of those individuals that have white curly hair like that of wool. Okay. To me, most of them straight. I've been to Israel. I've seen straight. Then it's color don't matter. Well, then if it doesn't matter, then why don't we color him the right color?
Yeah.
Because color matters. See, it's a constant. That's why eventually, what do most of my white evangelicals do? Just like the guy did yesterday when we were talking about another subject, and it would do that circle. And instead of just saying, well, I guess I don't want to look at a black Jesus. Say it.
Yeah.
You're already speaking it to all of us. You think you fooling us? You're as racist as all get out. Why do you care what black people think about you anyway? Why do you care if they think you're racist? Because that's that godly Christian image they got to live up to. Say it.
Do racism come with action or inaction. Because oftentimes it could be a form of indoctrination, because if you brought your children up with that idea, then the children only receive that idea and know nothing better than that.
Right.
So all they're doing is reflecting what they've been taught.
Mm-hmm. They are. But you just kind of like your ancestors, you're suffering now for what your ancestors taught or did not teach. So now my people are going to have to. They will suffer, because the Bible says that one day Gentiles across the world will wake up. I believe it's in Jeremiah. Will wake up and find that their forefathers taught them lies. So this is the lies of vanity. This is what it is, that we're all that in a bag of chips. We're greater than you. So yes, it's been taught in our system, but that's a part of the consequences my people are going to have to endure, because their forefathers taught them that lie. But God has shown them, even through me, when I go home to these churches, white churches that used to support me, I say used to, none of them do. Actually, they barred me, some of them.
Wow.
You know, when I go back to tell them this, they tell me to shut up. So they're still accountable. I was told by one church during the time of President Obama, when I was just sharing, more and more injustices. They told me, and then later they cut me off. They used to kind of support me as a missionary. I was in a agency, like a parachurch agency that had a good reputation amongst evangelicals. And then they would kind of be my covering. And I would raise support like a missionary in white evangelical churches. Instead of going to Africa, I was in the inner city. It was harder for me to get money than it would have been. People would come up and say, well, if you were going to Africa, I would give you that money. But since you're staying here in the States, that's their hatred for you. They wouldn't even support me to bring the gospel to you, because they felt like you had enough chances. You don't. That's on you.
Wow.
But yet they'll support if you go to Africa. Why? Hierarchy.
Absolutely.
We're greater than those Africans. It makes us feel good. I'm not racist. I send money to an African kid every month through, this agency. But yeah, the church would close the door. So I probably got off the subject there, but my people are not willing to embrace this truth. So yes, our forefathers taught us lies, but the grace of the Most High Yah, as me sitting here, shows you that those of us have willing hearts to hear and ears to hear. He will give us this. He will allow us to see this truth.
Right.
My mother sees this truth. She's 100% now in this truth. And she will admit to you at 68 years old that before I began my journey in the inner city, she would call herself racist. Not because she'd be mean, but because of what she thought in her mind from her compared to you.
And that's the next question. Why is African American identity so important?
Because when you are stripped of your identity, then the only thing you can do is live by the identity that's been given to you. So my people have given you an identity that you're beasts. You're uneducated. You're wild. You came from huts, and now we're
cultivating you.
There you go. Actually, with colonization, which is communism, which is indoctrination, which then Christianity is the religion of those things. Solidifies it. It's like this. Without you knowing your identity, then you believe that. This is why I believe that if you have a white man coming towards a cop and you have a black man, standing there, they'll shoot you as a black man because, see, we've been taught that 9 out of 10 chances that black man has not been civilized by white folks. So he is still in his wild horse or beast state. That's why he's on the street. Wow. That's why he's that. So you shoot.
Wow.
But when you see a white young man or a white man, you are taught that 9 out of 10, he's okay. And maybe 1% he's messed up, but not because he's a beast, but because somebody somewhere in his community of growing up failed him to see the signs, to see, what was going on, and to help change or help fix that